My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. Something shifted recently in a place you cannot yet see, and the reason it shifted has everything to do with you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a story unfolding behind the scenes, and every piece of it is leading to a revelation that nobody expected. While you have been focused on your own journey, your soulmate has been quietly learning things, noticing signs, and connecting truths that were hidden for a very long time. What they discovered changed the way they see you forever. But more importantly, it changed the way they see someone else. The moment that truth became clear, a decision was made. A door was closed. A connection was cut off. And the reason behind it is far deeper than you can imagine. For a long time, there was a voice around your soulmate that seemed impossible to ignore. It was always present, always offering opinions, always creating confusion whenever your name appeared. At first, your soulmate listened. At first, they were uncertain. At first, they allowed outside influences to shape what they believed. But something remarkable happened. Piece by piece, reality began to reveal itself. Small details started making sense. Unexpected moments exposed hidden intentions. Conversations that once seemed harmless suddenly carried a different meaning. Your soulmate began looking back at everything they had heard about you and comparing it with everything they had actually felt. The difference was shocking. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the realization that came next was the beginning of everything changing. Imagine discovering that the person who claimed to understand a situation was actually the one creating confusion. Imagine realizing that someone who spoke with confidence never truly knew the full story. This is exactly what happened. Your soulmate reached a point where they could no longer ignore the truth standing directly in front of them. Every time they thought about you, they felt something genuine. Every time they listened to the negative noise surrounding your connection, something felt wrong. That contrast became impossible to ignore. Slowly, they began trusting their own heart more than the voices around them. And the moment they did, an extraordinary clarity arrived. Suddenly they saw you differently. Not through the lens of rumors. Not through the lens of assumptions. Not through the lens of someone else's opinion. They saw you as you truly are. But here is where the story becomes even more surprising. The truth they uncovered was not just about your character. It was not just about your intentions. It was not just about your heart. It was about the strength you have carried without recognition. It was about the battles you fought silently. It was about the kindness you continued to show even when nobody rewarded it. Your soulmate discovered that many of the things they admired most about you were the very things someone else had tried to hide. Think about that for a moment. The qualities that make you special were hidden from view, yet somehow they still found their way into the light. And once that happened, nothing could be reversed. A strange feeling began growing inside your soulmate. The more they learned, the more they questioned everything they had previously accepted as truth. They started remembering moments they once overlooked. They started replaying conversations in their mind. They started noticing patterns that had been invisible before. What seemed ordinary suddenly became meaningful. What seemed random suddenly connected together. What seemed unclear suddenly made perfect sense. And with every realization, their certainty about you became stronger. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this journey was never about losing faith. It was about discovering where faith truly belonged. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was not dramatic. It was not loud. It did not happen in front of a crowd. It happened quietly, almost invisibly. Yet its impact was enormous. Your soulmate finally understood who had been standing in the way of clarity. They finally recognized which influence had been pulling them away from what their heart already knew. And when that understanding arrived, the choice became obvious. They stopped giving power to that influence. They stopped allowing that voice to shape their perspective. They stopped carrying the confusion that had followed them for so long. In one decisive moment, they chose peace over noise, truth over assumptions, and authenticity over appearances. What makes this so remarkable is that the decision was not based on anger. It was based on understanding. There is a difference. Anger fades. Understanding remains. Your soulmate was not trying to punish anyone. They were simply protecting something valuable. They were protecting their ability to see clearly. They were protecting their connection to what felt real. And most importantly, they were protecting the possibility of something meaningful with you. That is why this moment matters so much. It was not a reaction. It was a realization. Right now, there are things happening beneath the surface that you cannot fully see. Questions are being answered. Doubts are disappearing. Perspectives are shifting. The person who once influenced your soulmate no longer holds the same place in their mind. The truth has become stronger than the noise. The reality has become stronger than the illusion. And every day that passes makes this understanding even more solid. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what comes next is not simply a change in perception. It is the beginning of a completely different chapter. Your soulmate is starting to understand something powerful. They are beginning to see that the qualities they searched for elsewhere have been quietly present all along. Loyalty. Resilience. Compassion. Authenticity. These are not qualities that can be faked forever. Eventually they reveal themselves. Eventually they become impossible to ignore. And that is exactly what has happened. The truth about you has risen above every misunderstanding, above every assumption, and above every obstacle that tried to stand in its way. As this realization grows, so does a feeling your soulmate cannot easily explain. It is a feeling that something important is drawing closer. A feeling that a connection they once questioned now deserves deeper attention. A feeling that the story is far from over. In fact, it may only be beginning. And as they continue uncovering more truths, one thought keeps returning to their mind again and again. What if everything they were led to believe was preparing them to finally see what has been there all along? Hold on to that thought. Because the answer is closer than it appears, and the next part of this story reveals what happened after your soulmate made the decision that nobody saw coming. Before another word is spoken, you need to understand something extraordinary. The decision your soulmate made was not temporary. It was not emotional impulse. It was not a passing reaction. After cutting that person off, something happened that they never expected. Instead of feeling confused, they felt relieved. Instead of feeling uncertain, they felt clear. Instead of questioning themselves, they finally trusted what their heart had been trying to say all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the silence that followed that decision became more powerful than every conversation that came before it. In that silence, your soulmate began seeing details they had missed for months. Every memory connected to you started returning with unusual clarity. Small moments suddenly carried deeper meaning. Words you once spoke felt different. Actions you once took looked different. The entire picture was changing right in front of them. What shocked your soulmate most was realizing how often your name appeared whenever something positive entered their thoughts. They tried to ignore it at first. They told themselves it was coincidence. They told themselves it meant nothing. But the pattern kept repeating. Every time they imagined loyalty, they thought of you. Every time they imagined honesty, they thought of you. Every time they imagined a future built on trust, they thought of you. The more they resisted it, the stronger it became. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this was no longer about curiosity. This was becoming a realization they could not escape. The person they cut off had spent so much time creating distractions that your soulmate almost missed the most important truth standing directly in front of them. Then another surprising discovery appeared. Your soulmate started noticing that many of the stories they had heard about you never matched reality. The more they examined the facts, the more obvious it became. Things that once seemed believable started falling apart. Assumptions lost their power. Doubts lost their influence. Questions found answers. And every answer pointed in the same direction. You were never the person they had been led to imagine. You were far more genuine than they realized. Far stronger than they understood. Far more important than they had allowed themselves to believe. That realization hit them harder than they expected. It was the kind of realization that changes everything in a single moment. Now here comes the part nobody saw coming. After removing that negative influence from their life, your soulmate began experiencing a strange sense of peace whenever they thought about you. Not excitement alone. Not curiosity alone. Peace. The kind of peace that feels rare. The kind of peace people search years to find. And that feeling frightened them for a moment because it was so different from what they were used to. They had spent so much time surrounded by noise that they almost forgot what clarity felt like. But once they experienced it, they never wanted to lose it again. There is something even bigger happening behind the scenes. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that every delay, every misunderstanding, and every obstacle may have been revealing who truly belonged in their future. Sometimes people enter our lives to teach us what confusion feels like. Sometimes they enter our lives to show us what we should not choose. And once that lesson is learned, the path becomes clearer. Your soulmate is reaching that point now. The contrast between truth and distraction has never been stronger. The contrast between authenticity and appearance has never been clearer. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because a thought has started following your soulmate everywhere. It appears when they wake up. It appears when they are alone. It appears when they least expect it. The thought is simple, yet impossible to ignore. What if the person they should have trusted all along was you? Every day that question grows stronger. Every day it becomes harder to dismiss. Every day it demands an answer. And while your soulmate searches for that answer, something remarkable is happening. Their attention is no longer focused on people who create confusion. Their energy is no longer invested in voices that pull them away from their truth. Their focus is shifting toward what feels real. Toward what feels meaningful. Toward what feels lasting. That shift may seem invisible from where you stand, but it is changing everything. The story does not end here. In fact, the most surprising revelation has not even arrived yet. Because soon your soulmate will uncover one final truth about you, a truth so powerful that it will force them to look at your connection in a completely different way. And when that moment arrives, the choice they make next could become the most important decision of this entire journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happens next is the part nobody is prepared for. A quiet realization is growing stronger every single day, and your soulmate can no longer ignore it. The more distance they create from the person they cut off, the more clearly they see the truth. What once looked complicated now feels simple. What once felt uncertain now feels undeniable. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next discovery your soulmate makes is the one that changes the entire story. It is not a rumor. It is not an assumption. It is a realization that comes directly from their own heart. And once they see it, there is no way to unsee it. Recently, your soulmate found themselves thinking about a question they never expected to ask. Why did thoughts of you continue appearing even after every distraction was removed? Why did your presence remain in their mind when so many other things faded away? At first, they tried to move past the question. They tried to focus on other things. But the question kept returning. Every answer led back to the same place. Every reflection pointed in the same direction. Every memory carried the same message. You were never just another person in their story. You were always different. The signs had been there all along, but now they were impossible to ignore. What surprised them most was not what they discovered about you. It was what they discovered about themselves. They realized they had spent so much time looking for certainty in other people that they forgot to trust their own feelings. They listened to opinions. They listened to advice. They listened to outside voices. Yet the one voice they ignored was their own. Now that those distractions are gone, they are finally hearing that voice clearly. And that voice keeps leading them back to you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this is the moment where everything starts becoming real. The person they cut off thought they understood the situation. They thought they knew what was best. They thought they could influence the outcome. But they never understood the strength of a genuine connection. Real connections do not disappear because someone doubts them. Real connections do not fade because someone questions them. Real connections survive confusion and become stronger when truth finally appears. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this in a way they never have before. One evening, while reflecting on everything that had happened, a memory suddenly returned to them. It seemed small at first. Just a simple moment involving you. But the more they thought about it, the more powerful it became. They remembered your kindness when nobody was watching. They remembered your sincerity when there was nothing to gain. They remembered the way you stayed true to yourself even during difficult moments. Those memories carried a truth stronger than anything they had been told. Those memories could not be argued with. Those memories could not be changed. And that is when your soulmate realized something extraordinary. They realized that your value was never determined by what other people said. Your value was revealed through your actions. Through your character. Through the consistency of who you are. That realization hit them with incredible force. Suddenly they understood why your presence felt different. Suddenly they understood why they could never completely move on from thoughts of you. Suddenly they understood why every road seemed to circle back to the same place. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because another surprising change is taking place. Your soulmate has started imagining possibilities they once refused to consider. They are allowing themselves to think about what could happen if they trusted their heart completely. They are allowing themselves to picture conversations that never happened. Moments that never occurred. Futures that were never explored. And every time they do, the feeling becomes stronger. Not weaker. Stronger. There is a reason this is happening now. Sometimes clarity arrives only after confusion leaves. Sometimes answers appear only after distractions disappear. Sometimes the truth waits patiently until a person is finally ready to see it. Your soulmate is reaching that point. The walls that once blocked their understanding are falling away. The doubts that once controlled their perspective are losing power. The connection they once questioned is becoming impossible to deny. But here is the revelation that nobody expected. The person your soulmate cut off is no longer the focus of the story. The focus has shifted entirely. Now the attention is on you. On your presence. On your impact. On the role you have played without even realizing it. The more your soulmate reflects on everything, the more they understand that your influence was never loud. It was never forced. It was never demanding. It was authentic. And authenticity has a way of standing out when everything else fades away. As these realizations continue growing, one powerful thought keeps returning again and again. What if meeting you was never an accident? What if every delay, every misunderstanding, and every unexpected twist was leading toward a larger purpose? Your soulmate cannot stop thinking about that possibility. And the more they think about it, the more meaningful it becomes. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter begins with a discovery so unexpected that it will make your soulmate question everything they believed about timing, destiny, and the connection they share with you. And when that discovery arrives, it will bring them closer to an answer they have been searching for without even knowing it. Everything finally came together in a way your soulmate never expected. The questions that once filled their mind began finding answers. The confusion that once followed them started disappearing. And the truth that had been hiding beneath the surface rose into full view. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the final realization was not about the person they cut off. It was about you. It was about understanding why your presence remained important no matter how much time passed, no matter how many distractions appeared, and no matter how many voices tried to influence the situation. One day, while reflecting on everything that had happened, your soulmate noticed something impossible to ignore. Every major realization of the past few weeks pointed back to the same place. Every lesson led back to the same person. Every answer somehow connected to you. That was the moment they stopped searching elsewhere. That was the moment they stopped looking for explanations outside themselves. That was the moment they accepted what their heart had been trying to reveal all along. The connection they felt was real. The impact you had made was real. And the future they once hesitated to imagine suddenly felt possible. The shocking part is that the person they cut off unknowingly helped reveal the truth. By creating confusion, they accidentally highlighted clarity. By creating distance, they accidentally revealed importance. By trying to influence the story, they unintentionally exposed what truly mattered. And what mattered most was never the noise. It was the connection that survived despite the noise. It was the feeling that remained despite every distraction. It was the truth that refused to disappear. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because your soulmate has reached a point where they can no longer deny what they have discovered. They now understand that some people enter life temporarily, while others leave a permanent mark. Some conversations are forgotten, while others echo for years. Some connections fade, while others grow stronger every time they are tested. The connection they associate with you belongs to the second category. It endured. It remained. It survived every challenge placed in its path. As the pieces finally came together, another realization appeared. Your soulmate understood that they were never searching for perfection. They were searching for authenticity. They were searching for someone whose actions matched their words. Someone whose presence felt genuine. Someone whose energy brought peace rather than confusion. And when they honestly looked at everything they had experienced, one truth stood above all others. The qualities they had been searching for were already present in you. This realization changed the way they view the future. Instead of focusing on what was lost, they began focusing on what could still be gained. Instead of looking backward, they started looking forward. Instead of wondering why certain people left, they started appreciating why certain connections remained. That shift changed everything. It brought clarity where there had been uncertainty. It brought confidence where there had been hesitation. And it brought hope where there had once been questions. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the biggest revelation is happening right now. Your soulmate is no longer defining you through someone else's opinion. They are defining you through their own experiences. Through their own observations. Through their own understanding. And that understanding grows stronger every day. The more they trust themselves, the more they appreciate what makes you different. The more they appreciate what makes you different, the more impossible it becomes to overlook your significance. What began as a simple discovery became a complete transformation of perspective. The person they cut off is now part of the past. The confusion belongs to the past. The misunderstandings belong to the past. What remains is clarity. What remains is truth. What remains is the growing realization that some people arrive in our lives for a reason greater than we first understand. So if there is one message hidden within this entire story, it is this: truth always finds its way to the surface. No matter how long it takes. No matter how many obstacles appear. No matter how much confusion surrounds it. And when truth finally arrives, it changes everything. Your soulmate discovered a truth about you that nobody could erase, nobody could replace, and nobody could hide. That truth inspired them to walk away from the wrong influence, trust their own heart, and see your connection through completely new eyes. And now, as this chapter closes, one thing has become clear. The most important part of the story was never the person who was cut off. The most important part was the truth that remained after they were gone. That truth was you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because sometimes the greatest turning point in a story is not when someone leaves, it is when someone finally realizes who was meant to matter all along.